Sisterlocks Beauty Tips and Potpourri. If you are new to this channel, I'm so glad to have you here. Welcome home. What took you so long? And if you are a returning subscriber or a soul triber, I am so wonderful to have you again and welcome you into my home. All of you, I love you and I appreciate you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you make it to the end, don't forget to tell me in the comments that you made it to the end. I will pull a tarot card or an oracle card message for you, for those of you who want to stick around to the end. If you haven't purchased my book, Manifesting Your Masterpiece, make sure you go and get your copy. It's a wonderful addendum to your healing library if you're about gaining clarity, up-leveling your mindset, clearing and healing energetic blockages so that you can manifest the glory of God that is within you. It will be a wonderful book for you. So today, I'm going to share a little bit about my Sisterlock experience in terms of some of the things that I've learned to encompass what I would not do again if I had it to do all over again, or giving you some suggestions about the things that you need to be mindful of with regard to your journey. I'm going to talk about some of the things that you all hear me talk about in a lot of my other videos because it's very important, and these are the things that just stand out. But I also want to just discuss some of the things that have been an important part of my experience as I gain more longevity in this cycle. You all know that I've had my locks now for going on 12 years, I believe. I got to go back and get the dates right, but my locks have been through quite a bit. Y'all see my little roll back there. They trying to get that off. Rededicating myself to my dietary and weight goals. If you can say amen to that, please put that in the comments. If you have some goals with regard to your diet and your physical health and strength. Shout out to all of my Queen of Pentacles out there. I love y'all. So, you know, let me just go ahead and get right into it. If this looks like a video that you want to stick around for, make sure you do that. And don't forget, like I said, to comment, leave a comment. Let me know if you made it to the end, and stick around if you want an oracle card reading. Okay, so let's go ahead and dig in. Now, let me see if I can do something about this light that's trying to come in. I don't want to have to get up. Doggone it. Okay, let's just do the best we can for as long as we can. All right, probably the number one thing that has impeded the growth of my hair, because it should be way longer, even though this touches the top of my bottom, my hair would be significantly longer had I not done these things. I'm going to name the biggest thing that I think has been a great handicap, but I'm going to name all the things that I can think of while keeping this video under 20 minutes. We will see prior to the Tarot and Oracle, okay? That is the lint picking with the tweezers. I pick lint with tweezers and push pins. Now, some of you may say you don't have lint. Well, it doesn't look like I have lint either, and it doesn't before I start picking it. But sit out in your car one day. It's got to be done in your car on a sunny day, and just do like this. And you will see the multitude of life force energy that begins to be able to be reflected and seen as little particles that just are falling all around you. And you will be shocked at where's all this coming from. Now, it's got to be done in the light of the sun's rays within an enclosed environment. So because I'm in this room and there's darkness and I have that big window behind me, when I do this, I can see some of it. Okay, but it's going to be a lot more magnified if you do it when you're in the car. And when you're in the car, you're going to say, oh my gosh. So what I'm saying to you is that this is with you all the time. This is coming down all the time in your reality. When you put on clothes, when you're cleaning, when you're lying down in the bed, when you're interacting with other people, when you're around matter, these little pieces of energetic debris, which are non-living, are going to get trapped in your locks. I don't care if you use oil or not, or if you don't think you have it. I challenge you to take an entire lock out after being locked for a year or two. Take an entire lock out and watch what is in that lock, and understand that a large part of the locking process is that things become entangled and the locks grab onto things, all right? And it's more than just your hair. So while you may not want to hear it, if you go looking for it like I do, 9 times out of 10 you're going to find it. So it's the way you get it out that matters. A lot of people like to color over theirs. I'm not one of those people that kind of felt good about doing that in the beginning. I had to get it out. If it was in there, I had to get it out. And the thing is, when you start picking, you start noticing everything. And then when you finally stop, then something triggers it again and you start up again. So I went through a real OCD time period in my life where I was constantly picking cotton. I have tons of early videos on this channel about lint picking. I should have been on the plantation. Either way, I wouldn't have gotten paid though, because it sure has not served me in my lock journey. Because of my lack of patience, I had to go in and just start picking. That is why I have so many short locks in the front, because I would start picking and keep picking, and instead of being patient, or if I was using the push pin, it's a lot easier. If you use a push pin, it's a lot easier. But sometimes if you catch lint further up in your lock, if you're that OCD, you can't use a push pin because you'd have to take the whole lock out. So then I go in with the tweezers, the very pointy, sharp tip tweezers. And once I start, I need to get it all out. And that's where I want to say, no, stop. If you're going to use a push pin, you're going to start from the bottom. Just gently open a few pieces of hair at a time until you get where you need to go, and then gently allow the hair to slide out. Or open up a little bit and then wash it and let it come to the surface. All right. If you're using a pair of tweezers and you see something that you can get at the bottom and you take it out and it's fine, all power to you. But if it's further up in the lock somewhere, what you need to do is sort of use those tweezers if you're going to use tweezers. Some people will just do an ACV wash. They may have their other ways, y'all, but I've been there, done that. Matter of fact, I have ACV wash that I need to still upload to this channel that I did months ago. And was it a futile endeavor? By and large, I'm going to say it was, because what it did was bring up a lot of stuff that it never got out. It wasn't like the commercials and the TV and the sensationalism. When you see those people with those thick, fat locks and all that mess in their hair, and they sit down and the water is like brown, dark brown, and suddenly all this stuff is gone. No, I found that I had to go in the next day a couple of times and work through with some, what do we call it? I don't know why I can't think about them, loss of words. Clarifying shampoo to get the rest of it out. And if you have patience, more power to you, because one thing I will tell you with the ACV wash is that your hair feels lighter, it's clean, it's shiny as, excuse my French, and it feels good. Your hair feels good. You do feel like you got a new lease on life in a lot of ways. And after all those years of never doing any type of deep cleansing, that was good for me, and it felt wonderful, and it really brought in a renewed vigor into my hair. But with me being so OCD about everything that could have showed up. So I have dealt with particular lint struggles because what I did with my hair from the very beginning of my journey up until the last 3.5, 4 years. And you all know, I used to oil it every day. The types of oil that I was using was way too heavy. And then I washed them frequently. And then when I washed, I did not wash multiple times. I would wash one time, okay? Because to me, there were advantages in washing less frequently, but I self-sabotaged my efforts by not washing thoroughly, all right? Which meant that anything that was coming out of my hair that needed multiple rinses or more than one wash was stuck in my locks. So here I am trying to get things out, and you know, once you wet your hair, whatever lint is in your hair, whatever dust, whatever cotton, it kind of just gets a strong hold. So you have to be mindful. If you're going to dig in and try to get the cotton out or the lint out or whatever it is out, even if it's build up or whatever it is, because let's say you have issues with dandruff. The dandruff is getting into your locks as they're being retightened and as they're growing down, and that may show up. And sometimes that can look maybe like conditioner or buildup or something else in your lock. It can look like flakes when you get it out. It's going to be in the lock. So my suggestion to you is to take like a gentle, not necessarily pointy tip, but a little bit more blunt tip tweezers, look at them first and see if that can work with your lock. You may find you need something just a little bit more pointy or a little bit sharper, and just kind of work the lock, the braid or the interlock apart, that rotation. Just open it up a little bit and massage it. And you can massage a little bit of clarifying shampoo with it, or you can wait until the next time you wash and make sure you wash well, and it'll come up to the surface, and then you can just get it out. The other thing you can do is work it open just a little bit, and take like the little brush that you may use for your eyebrows or brushing your teeth, and just kind of brush it out and let it come out. Don't do what I've done, which is, this is an OCD thing. I keep my tweezers in my car, and whenever I stop somewhere, not always in a parking lot, I am picking and looking and going through the locks, just looking for all types of stuff. All right, anything that ain't got no business being in there. And so as a result, it has shortened my locks quite a bit. So use those first few strategies that I told you about and be very mindful. The other thing is, can be coloring too often and putting too many additional chemicals in your hair if your hair is not necessarily strong. Whenever you put color in your hair, and I colored for many years, and although it didn't destroy my locks, and I believe that that is the case because of my I Am Melanin Magic products, I'm just gonna tell y'all, my hair is long and thicker than it ever was because I use this. This is for thinning, balding, hair loss issues. It's more medicinal. It has a purple label now. This is for your everyday use or your every other day use. This can be put on the scalp and the hair. This is strictly just for the scalp. But this is what fortified my hair, keeps it full, keeps it coming back if I have an area that begins to thin or anything like that. It maximizes my hair growth too. I've had people who use this who don't even have locks, who use it on their natural hair, and they rave about how it has helped them after color, how it strengthens their hair, how it helps to condition their hair, and naturally, because it's an oil and it's all natural, wonderfully, some of the highest, and some of the higher echelon quality of products go into this particular spray in order to create the synergistic blend that really helps your hair to balance and return to a sort of homeostatic level, whereby your hair can do what it needs to do, or your hair can respond to some of the things that it needs to be able to respond to in order to either regenerate, in order to either recondition or condition, and just strengthen and provide a better environment for your hair in the midst of shampooing, in the midst of the water and the type quality of water that you may have, in the midst of coloring, in the midst of styling and putting what other stresses on your hair that you may put in your hair in order to keep the style, notwithstanding the retightenings either. So I didn't wash my hair that frequently, and when I washed it, I did a lousy job washing it. I wasn't careful to get enough of whatever, to wash it long enough to really strip my hair, so to speak, of anything that could have been a deterrent to the maximization of my growth. So that's very important. So as such, I tended to have a greater collection of dust and cotton and things like that in my hair, and that I really regret. So for those of you, if you have the ability to use high quality water on your hair, and you're willing to use the quality of water that's not just what's coming out of your spigot to wash your hair, and you want to wash your hair more frequently, I say go for it. But make sure you spend the time really massaging, really getting anything out. And of course, on to my next point, avoid the conditioners. The only time, because they really do leave buildup, y'all. There's one that I have, Tresemme, that I used more recently, maybe for only the second time, and that's because of the clarifying shampoos that I did. And in the past, the only other time that I would use a shampoo like that was when I was coloring my hair and I needed to follow the prescription with regard to putting the color in. And I knew I was weakening my hair, so I needed to go back in with whatever they said I needed to do to condition my hair and neutralize the color and keep my hair soft. So that's why I did it. But I would say definitely avoid that. The fourth thing that I would tell you to do is when you are getting your retightenings, or if you take over your retightenings, or if you're bouncing back between your loctician and you doing it, or your loctician, your main squeeze, and another person doing it, is to say to you, make sure that they are following the rotation, or make sure you are following the rotation. Now, I'm not a by the book sister lock type person. I'm one of those out of the box, non-conformist, maverick type people anyway. So, you know, when I was doing my own retightenings, it wasn't the end of the world. I'm just like, I'm just doing the rotation. It's not the end of the world. But I will tell you, if you're someone that cares about how your hair is progressing, and I do too, it's just I pick my battles. And right now, for the last 4 or 5 years, for me, the more important thing is safeguarding my hair from what could seem like inevitable thinning and balding that happens with women after they've had their locks for a short amount of time, or that happens with women that have sister locks after they've had them for even a shorter amount of time, say 3 to 5 years, and sometimes earlier, because the locks are ripped out or the integrity of the follicle is being destroyed by way of the lack of quality control with the retightenings, the frequency, and a whole litany of other things that you hear me talk about here on this channel. You're going to have to do something to fortify your hair, because if you're not picking lint, if you're not, you know, if it's not some other thing, then you're going to be dealing with dryness, or you're going to be dealing with something that, you know, maybe it's dandruff, which can be a result of dry hair, which dandruff eventually will destroy your follicles, or compromise the health of your hair. Maybe you're dealing with some hormonal issues. Whatever it is, you do put something in your hair to nutritionally supplement your hair and to strengthen it. So if you needed some type of oil or something on your hair before you got locks, and you're probably gonna need something on your hair after you got the locks, but everyone has to do what they believe in. The people I believe that talk about, more of them, not everybody, that you don't need oil on your hair or something like that, oftentimes are the people who haven't been in this journey very long. Your hair needs will change throughout this journey. You may not need anything additional on your hair in the beginning, but at some point, depending upon everything that's happening with you, down to your dietary intake and your water intake, to the level of stress in your life, any illnesses, any medication, hormonal stuff, all of those things sometimes can require you to supplement the same way you might drink a smoothie to supplement your diet, or the same way you may, that was kind of important, because I'm supposed to be getting some tile floor laying, and I need to go ahead and get on top of that. But I do have some concerns, because I feel as though I'm getting an unfair rate from someone just because they've been doing work for me repeatedly out here in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes the one-eyed man is king in the village of the blind. And so because it can be so difficult to find someone way out here in the boonies, sometimes people feel as though they are justified in overcharging, and they can take a look at you and just think that they can just do whatever they want. So I don't know, we'll see. Utilize a little bit of rules of the laws of attraction in order to manifest what it is we want from that. But so that's important, y'all. Going back to the different locticians, making sure that they follow the rotation. If you have a reverse 4 pattern and they're doing it just the 4 rotation, or vice versa, that if it's been going in one direction and somebody begins to go in another direction, it's gonna change the pattern in which your hair is growing. Your hair is gonna have to back step. It's gonna have a regression, and it's gonna not grow as long, or it will grow, but you're not gonna see the length. So be very mindful of that, y'all, because that can happen without you even realizing it. That's why it's important. You've heard me say before, sometimes maybe if you want to have a mirror and pay attention to what's going on sometimes, so that you can see what that rotational pattern is like. But if you're bouncing back and forth between people, that's something you really want to be mindful of, because every time you take a few steps forward, you can take a step back. And the same thing is true if you are doing your own hair. It's really, really important. The other thing that I want to talk about is, like I started talking a little bit about the color, but where the color will harm you, naturally it will change your hair, and it will feel a little bit harder. As the color begins to leave your hair will get back to the way it felt. Like mine is now. Even though the permanent color is still here, my hair has softened tremendously, because it's been about maybe 3 years, I think, since I actually used the Vidal Sassoon color that I was using, which by the way was runaway red, and it was very red. This is what's left after it comes out. You know how you get that brassy sort of color? Then I transitioned to the rinses, and the rinses did very well, but I decided to give my hair a break overall. One of the things I did notice from the color is a little bit less strength in my ends. Now, I've heard people talk about their ends falling entirely off or losing locks, and I think that happens more when you put you go up in many levels, multiple levels of whitening, or you bleach your hair. The other thing that's really important that I want to share with you with regard to something not to do or something to be mindful of is really make sure that you rinse the chemicals out, y'all. I will tell you, when that stuff is in the lock, it's embedded in the lock, just like everything else gets embedded in the lock. And the color is designed to penetrate the hair. So if it's designed to penetrate the hair, it's going in there, which means that it's going to be hard to get out unless you really spend a lot of time rinsing it out. And you have to be patient. You cannot be like me and say, look, I'm on the 4th rinsing out and I still see red all over the place. That's it. You know, you got to keep on getting as much of that stuff out. If you got to put your head in the tub and let it just sit there and soak. It's important to be mindful of that and to really massage the hair very well. The same as what you do when you're having to wash your hair. It's just so critical. The other thing I want you to be mindful of, especially as the locks start to grow, is being very tender in how you manipulate and handle your hair, especially in high traffic areas like around here and like back here, and even in areas where you're most likely to give your hair the most contact when you're washing, which is right up here in the center. It's important to not be scrubbing. It's important to gently massage. It's important to make sure that you're getting the hair clean, but that you're not putting undue pressure on your strands, especially in these areas around here, which brings me to my next point, and that is watching how much you're pulling your hair and how tight your locks are when you get your retightnings, and when the loctician, whether it's you or someone else, is retightening your hair, it does not need to be all the way to your head. I'm telling you, you may not notice it now. Maybe it's something you need to start paying attention to. But if you feel soreness, if it feels too tight, if you're getting headaches, if you got sores in your head, some of the things you all say to me is too tight. And that means while you may be bouncing back now, repeated tightness, repeated tension with regard to rotations that are unnecessarily close to your head, where there's a lot of tension in the way that person is locking their hair, eventually it's going to cause alopecia. Okay, it's gonna cause, and you know, in our community, y'all, you can just think about, I know me, when I think about traction out of alopecia, first thing I think about is sitting out on the steps getting your hair comb rolled, or seeing a kid sitting out on the steps getting their hair comb rolled in the summertime while we double dutching, or we're playing jump rope, or we're playing outside, and by the time they're done, their eyes look like this, and you can see the puckering of the scalp because it's too tight. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. You can interrupt your growth cycle, you can kill your follicles, you can end up with scarring, you can end up with serious hair loss, and a lot of times by the time it starts to happen, it has already become systemically embedded in certain areas of your scalp, if not your entire head. The stress of that, the stress of not using the right products, the stress of too frequent washing, the stress of too frequent retightenings, the stress of so many things can converge at one time, and before you know it, you're too far gone. And I notice with these styles and with things that look beautiful, they have an addictive quality to them. If you've gotten used to doing your edges and putting gel on your hair, and this is just an example, people who don't have locks can relate to what I'm saying. You got used to putting that ponytail up there and you keep pulling your hair back, eventually when your hair starts to weaken, or something in your diet starts to weaken, or you're dealing with telophylline fluvium, I can't think of the word, Teflon. It's with hair loss around hormonal changes like pregnancy and things. You're going to experience more loss in those weaker areas, and that's where you're going to see it more. And I will say it again, by the time you see it, it's already progressed. So you have to be very, 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 very careful. On to my next point that you will learn, you hear me talk about a lot, is the loctician choice that you make. Do your proper research, get testimonials or pictures, or do reference and checks on the person that's going to be doing your hair. Don't assume because they're a Sisterlocks loctician, they're knowledgeable about hair. It's one thing that if they are and they're not a cosmetologist, but they love hair and they're learning about hair and they can talk to you about hair, or maybe they're taking care of their own locks. You don't have to be a beautician or a master cosmetologist, although it can help, in order to be a great loctician and care for hair. Because by being a master loctician and a cosmetologist, it doesn't guarantee that you're passionate about what you do, or that you're a lifelong learner and willing to shift in the ways that you've been doing things when new information comes to your into your space. So finding the right loctician, loving on that person, and trying to create a really good relationship, because the relationship that you have with that person is going to manifest into the relationship of what happens with your hair. The next point is not being afraid to learn how to do your own retightenings, or not being afraid to learn and begin to practice on your hair, so that you are not totally reliant on someone else. When you begin to do your own retightenings, you will become very intimately connected and aware of what is going on with your hair. You will also know what it's supposed to feel like when you're done, because I guarantee you're not going to do repeated too tight retightenings with unnecessary rotation. So be mindful of that. That is so critical. Also, it makes you less dependent. When COVID happened, a lot of us and a lot of you all were commenting in, and you were talking about the difficulties and the lapses in between retightenings and the hair loss because you weren't able to get to your locticians. And a lot of people, including the organization, our brand, didn't have a lot of things in place that a lot of people felt were great solutions to a problem that was very, very difficult. And so many people couldn't get their hands on the right tools. Many people didn't even know how to start. Many people didn't even know how to do the rotation because there's so much secrecy in this community. So you want to really be mindful of that. There are a crap load of other things that I would like to talk about, but the video is getting kind of long. So I want to just pull a message from, I'm going to keep it short, from the 4 Agreements deck. For those of you who are leaving and won't be around to hear the message, I'm sending you lots of love. Again, do not forget to share, like, and subscribe to the video. And if you're interested in the I Am Melanin Magic brand, I'll make sure I add something at the front and at the end of the video, but it's also going to be in my description, all right? We just had a sale about a month ago, but the anti-aging serum is still on sale. And if you want glowing, radiant, healthy looking, supple skin, this is the product for you. I'm telling you, a little goes a long way. It will exfoliate, it will recondition, it will help you to retain moisture, it will allow your skin to feel very soft, and it will help you to renew at a faster rate than what you may be renewing at. It will smooth fine lines and allow you to feel and look more beautiful. So let's pull one of these cards and let's just see what the message is. I felt one fall, and so we're going to get one more for whoever's watching this. Those of you who are looking for energetic readings or spiritual intuitive readings, you can see the description for my information. It says refuse to eat emotional poison. Okay, emotional poison is the stuff that we take in and feed our souls that is emotionally detrimental to us. Things that people say that don't make us feel good, that we take personally and that we allow to invalidate us. All the other nonsense mumbo jumbo that we take in externally and we allow them to poison us. This can be food from a physical, physiological, biological standpoint, but we're talking about the emotional poison, the things that in your life that you take personally that other people are doing also that really are not about you, that you need to deflect, or that you need to separate yourself from, or emotionally and energetically insulate yourself from. So it says taking things personally makes you pray for predators, not pray as in Salah or praying to God, but it makes you pray. When you take everything personal, you become prey to predators. I don't know how to explain that, but y'all know what I'm saying, right? They can hook your attention with one little opinion and feed you whatever poison they want. Refuse to eat poison. And this is important because a lot of times you're picking up and taking in energies from people that you don't think that there is any mischief or malice involved or any ulterior motive. A lot of times, y'all, people can't control their jealousies. They can't control their ill will. And even though they may not be in those energies all the time, unless a person is doing their personal, energetic, and emotional housekeeping, people can let energies crop up on them that cause them to project their own insecurities and inadequacies onto you. And when that happens, a person can be sending something your way that you would never think they were trying to send your way. It could also be in the interest of self-interest, meaning they want something from you, or they're trying to keep something from you, or maybe they're trying to keep you in their life in some way, and so they're manipulating a situation. So be mindful of that. This next message is don't overdo, but always do your best. Always do your best, but don't overdo. When you overdo, you deplete your body and you go against yourself, and it will take you longer to accomplish your goal. This can really relate to those of us sometimes who do the most. You go above and beyond, you overgive to a situation, which is really a sign of some type of emotional codependence sometimes, or some people can have the martyr complex, but it's really doing more than what a situation requires because of some fallacy that you've sold yourself about why it just must be that way. Maybe you're the only one you think who can do it. Maybe you feel like the more that you give, the more that you will receive. Or maybe you feel like that giving is more important than receiving, which is also a fallacy. Maybe you feel like maybe there's a martyr complex that you have. Maybe you feel like unless you overgive, you won't be able to get what you need from somebody. Maybe you feel like in order to be seen, you need to overdo. So this is just talking about not going above and beyond. You don't have to do the most. Sit back, be in your feminine energy sometimes, and allow other people to give to you so that you can receive. Don't always feel like you have to do more than is what is required, to the point to where it becomes people-pleasing, or to the point to where it becomes counterproductive for you, and it actually is a one-way street, which depletes the energy of the heart chakra and causes you to feel drained and then frustrated and then resentful, okay? So I love y'all. I hope y'all have a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm going to put the I Am Melanin Magic stuff at the end, and then I'll also go back and put it at the beginning. Sending lots of love. Don't forget to catch it. Love y'all. And if you have comments and things that you want to share, or particular videos that you want to see, leave it in the comment section. Also, if you leave a comment, let me know what age you are. I feel like I have a sense of my demographic because of what the statistics are for the analytics for the channel. But I would love for some of you who I'm seeing a lot in the comment section to just let me know what generation you're in, or give me your age. I would absolutely love that. And I started talking about the anti-aging serum and forgot to mention it's 2 for the price of almost 1 in less than a half. So this bottle, typically you all purchase it for $53. It will last you for a long time, but you can get 2 for $75 now. And that sale will continue probably until the end of fall. And welcome to the fall. It's time to release all of this stuff that you've been holding on to, y'all. We have great, wonderful things coming up over these next few months as we get ready to collide with 2023. I love y'all. Again, have a beautiful, beautiful day. You are magnificent. Please continue to be peaceful, prosperous, productive, and passionate.
If you are not using I Am Melanin Magic hair oil, then what are you using?
Hey guys, so I started using this oil called I Am Melanin Magic since February of this year, and check out the new growth. Like, it's insane. Not only did it help with my new growth, but it smells amazing too.
See the dramatic improvements Denisha has made after not having hair around her edges for 3 years. Tanya's hair had been like this for almost 20 years, and while getting injections. Her doctor said it was scarred and would never grow back. After 4 weeks of using I Am Melanin Magic, this is what she looked like. I Am Melanin Magic did this to Danette's hair after a short time. Hi, I'm the creator of the I Am Melanin Magic hair and skincare brand. My vision has always been to develop a line of products that meets the unique needs of melanated people. The I Am Melanin Magic hair oil is our premier product. It is the leading high-end supplement for your mane.
It reduces breakage, promotes growth, and can be used on all hair types and looks, from straightened hair and microlocks to wigs and protective styles. It's antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-funk, so you know you're protected.
It softens and conditions your hair, and it's anti-frizz too.
This really is all you need. It's rich with antioxidants, loaded with growth-promoting ingredients. Look at the growth of my hair. The proof is in the product. Need I say more? Don't delay. Purchase yours today.
I am Melanin Magic, and so are you. If you are not using I Am Melanin Magic hair oil, then what are you using?
Hey guys, so I started using this oil called I Am Melanin Magic since February of this year, and check out the new growth. Like, it's insane. Not only did it help with my new growth, but it smells amazing too.
See the dramatic improvements Denisha has made after not having hair around her edges for 3 years. Tanya's hair had been like this for almost 20 years, and while getting injections. Her doctor said it was scarred and would never grow back. After 4 weeks of using I Am Melanin Magic, this is what she looked like. I Am Melanin Magic did this to Danette's hair after a short time.
Hi, I'm the creator of the I Am Melanin Magic hair and skincare brand. My vision has always been to develop a line of products that meets the unique needs of melanated people. The I Am Melanin Magic hair oil is our premier product. It is the leading high-end supplement for your mane.
It reduces breakage, promotes growth, and can be used on all hair types and looks, from straightened hair and microlocks to wigs and protective styles.
It's antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-funk, so you know you're protected.
It softens and conditions your hair, and it's anti-frizz too.
This really is all you need. It's rich with antioxidants, loaded with growth-promoting ingredients. Look at the growth of my hair. The proof is in the product. Need I say more? Don't delay. Purchase yours today.
I am Melanin Magic, and so are you.